Hello there, it's Alan Stevens welcoming you to the Media Coach Monday Tip. I hope it's not too cold where you are. It's a few flakes of snow here in London, nothing to worry about, more on the way perhaps. And that leads me into what I want to talk about today, and that is virtual speaking. Delivering a speech from one location into another location. Sometimes people talk about webinars, but here I'm talking about delivering set-piece speeches from a distance, and several things to think about. You can use Skype. Not terrific. You can use something called Zoom.us, which I prefer, works extremely well, or you can use some sort of proprietary system, depending on the event you're speaking at. The important thing with any technology is to test it thoroughly in advance. Make sure you're familiar with how it works, make sure you know what's going on. I always make a point of recording a video speech in advance and sending that to the organizer. So even if we can't get online because there's some sort of communication problem, there might be a broadband failure in the event itself, then they can still play your video because you've sent it to them in advance. It's in Dropbox or the cloud or somewhere else. Virtual speaking is basically what I'm doing right now, speaking to camera, speaking to you through a lens. So you need to get some practice at doing that. The other thing that's very, very useful when you're doing virtual speaking is to have some feedback. So if you can arrange with the organizer that at the other end they've got a camera on the audience so that you can see what's going on, you can see the reaction, possibly a little video in your screen in the corner there, that's very, very useful. And it's particularly useful when you're doing Q&A, because I think it's important not just to present at a distance, but also to interact as far as you can. It's not the same as being in the room, but it's a very, very good alternative if you can't get to a gig, if you can't get there for travel reasons. It may not be the weather, it may be anything else. It may be that remember that volcano in Iceland, near Iceland, that went off, Eyjafjallajökull, I think, a few years ago, which meant that you couldn't travel by air to lots of different destinations. So whatever the reason is, if you can't speak in person, you can always offer to speak virtually. There are other things to think about as well. Use some sort of back channel so that you have a connection, and I use things like Facebook Messenger or WhatsApp, so that I have communication with the organizer so they can feed me things, I can send things to them while the whole thing is going on. If you're using slides, very easy to share a screen. You can do it particularly easily through Zoom, again, which is my preferred virtual conferencing system of choice. But whatever you do, rehearse, 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 record in advance, send the organizer a copy of the video so that if at the last minute you've got some sort of travel delay that means you can't speak in person, you can still deliver to that audience, and most importantly, if you're a professional speaker, you can still get your fee. I wish you the best of luck.